We mentioned that distance is always positive when we were talking about absolute value. Distance is always positive. However, directed distance is not. Directed distance has a sign. So a positive move is a positive distance. A negative move is a negative directed distance. The negative shows you the direction. The distance is positive. So if you're moving in a negative direction, you're going to have a negative distance for the directed distance. So a lot to kind of take in there, unless you've been in a physics class, and then this completely makes sense. The directed distance from A to B, going from left to right, the directed distance going from left to right, where A is on the left and B is on the right, is B minus A. So you're going to have your smaller number on the left and your larger number on the right. So the directed distance from A to B, think of it as going from A to B, you're growing, so that's a positive value. So therefore, you're going to take the larger number minus the smaller number. The directed distance from B to A, going backwards, again, you still have the smaller number on the left and the larger number on the right, but going from B to A, the directed distance is A minus B. So you're going to take the smaller number minus the larger number, which is going to give you a negative value. So let's write that down. So from A to B, you'll have B minus A, which is a positive. And going from right to left, you're going to have a negative directed distance. The distance between A and B, notice how we're not using the word directed. So just the distance. The distance, here we go, distance is always positive. Therefore, we use the absolute values. So always positive. So we'll just take the absolute value of A minus B or the absolute value of B minus A. They will be the same value. The distance between 2 points on the real number line. This one's kind of an interesting one because it looks very similar to the distance formula. The distance between two numbers on the number line is equal to the absolute value of one value minus the other, which is also equal to the square root of the square of their distances. So let me just show you. Let's just use some numbers here. Let's use 2 and 5. So distance between 2 and 5 would equal the absolute value of 2 minus 5, which is equal to the absolute value of 5 minus 2, which is equal to 3. But they're saying, hey, I can find and use another method of finding the distance using that radical. So the distance could equal the absolute value of 2 minus 5 squared. Did I say the absolute value of? I meant the square root of. I'm pretty sure I just said the absolute value of. I meant the square root. So equals the square root of negative 3 squared, and negative 3 squared is 9, which is a positive 3. So this square, you're probably thinking, this square is going to take any number and make it positive. So that's how that works. I don't remember. I think, did we start a new video? I think we started a new video. So I think we have time to do this one right here. And then we'll do a quick checkpoint. So we've got the distance between -3 and 4 on the number line. The distance between, now it just says distance. So distance is always positive. So the distance between -3 and 4, that distance is equal to the absolute value of -3 minus 4, or we could say the absolute value of 4 minus -3, or we could say the square root of -3 minus 4 quantity squared. And in every case, we're going to get 7. So the absolute value of -7, the absolute value of +7, the square root of 49. And the principal square root is always positive. Therefore, the distance from -3 to 4 is 7. So that's the distance between -3 and 4. Now what happens if we go from 4 to -3? Well, that would be 4 minus -3, or -3 minus 4, or the square root of 4 minus -3 quantity squared. And in each case, that is also 7. Now, what is the directed distance? The directed distance, that's a C right there, directed distance from -3 to 4 is equal to a +7, because -3 to 4, you're growing positively. And the directed distance from 4 to -3, well, 4 is getting smaller going to -3, so that value is -7. Okay, here's one for you to try. Determine the distance between -2 and 6. What's the directed distance from -2 to 6? And what is the directed distance from 6 to -2? Press pause, and when you're ready to reveal the answer, you can press play. Okay, the distance is equal to 8. The directed distance, I didn't put a space in between there. The directed distance from -2 to 6 is also a +8, and the directed distance from 6 to -2 is -8.